Hey guys, it's Dave Bennett with MOWG-crew.com and theme2html.com. It is September 18th, 2014. Still, since my last recording, just put one out. And I want to go over Ahrefs really fast. For those of you who've never heard of it before, it is literally ahrefs.com. Check that out. So, like, we're going to look at this website here on ahrefs.com. Get to know this. This is really, really cool right here. Okay. And keep in mind, you can only do a trial one per day. Okay. So if you're going to try it for free, you can only do one website. So, if you're going to do this website, make sure you spell it correctly and don't get another website or you got to wait a day. I'm going to show you this one here. And this is just one I found. And it's an interesting example and I like it. So let's use this real quick and take a look at what Ahrefs shows us, because the point of this is to understand stuff like the backlinks and the stuff that Google really wants to see for your popularity contest, for your newness of content, backlinks you have from other websites, things that are important to make sure are happening in your backlink profile, and things that are not. By the way, what do I mean by that backlink profile? Okay, backlink profile. This is like the big thing today. Okay, backlinks profile. And you might even use the phrase profiling, okay, when you're talking about setting something up, backlink profiling or backlinks profile or whatever, okay? So that's what I keep saying when I say that. And what does that mean? By the profile of your backlinks, it's like cataloging the types of backlinks you have, right? How many are follow, how many are no follow, how many are on different domains, how many are on every page of a domain, how many use generic text and how many use the exact keyword, how many use the keyword phrase, and how many use variations on the domain name. We all throw these terms around, and so they're all sort of bubbling and brimming and circulating around each other in your head. But it's hard to actually see that picture, isn't it? That's what I like about ahrefs.com is you can see the picture. Someone showed me this some time ago, so kudos goes to that guy for actually pointing this out to me and saying, Dave, show him this. So let me just show you. This is kind of an interesting way to see and understand how things go. Okay, and let's think about this. All right, let's just go, and we're going to get some data. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what it means, so to speak. Now, when you show up, this is going to just like lay a lot of information out in front of you. Okay, so let's start with this. Okay, we're on the overview. There's things to see, top pages, dashboard, and I'm not going to go through everything. No need. I'll let you explore on your own. But URL rank is 20, and anytime you want to know what that means, hover over one of these exclamation points. Okay, rank of 0 to 30 means the URL is unpopular. By the way, notice that they talk about the URL particularly, not the domain. That's because we can look at a page by page basis as far as the URL goes. It's talking about the URL we are on right now. Okay, and then what? There's a domain rank that talks about the whole domain itself. 0 to 30 means the domain's unpopular. 31 to 70 means it's average. Well, guess what? This is kind of average anyway. Even if the front page itself is not so popular, there are a bunch of pages on the site, and when you add them all up, this site is pretty average for popularity. Okay, that's interesting to know. All right, backlinks, about 2,500 total backlinks. If we hover over, that's what it says. They're external backlinks, okay? Found on referring pages that link here. And whenever we talk about we create referral websites for you, that's what we mean. Websites that redirect people to you, websites that are not on your web pages are not on your website, they're on other websites, but they point across to you, and that's very important for Google, right? So anyway, there's 2,500 of these things. Now, referring domains, okay? That means there's 165 total different domains, domain.com, domain.net, domain number 2.com, 165 total that cover all of these 2,500 backlinks. So you could do the math. You could say, well, how many is that? If that's 2,500 divided by 165, you're just getting a sense of it, right? How many websites out there? It's like 15 websites. Or I'm sorry, that's 165 websites that have about 15 pages each, and that's an average, right? Okay, so that's what you could say. Now, keep in mind, they didn't do this in a week. No, this is backlinks from God knows when. Who knows how long it's taken them to build all of this up? Maybe they just aim for doing 15 links on a new website once a day. If you did that, really, think about it. If you did like 15 links on a new website once a day and you did it for like 300 days out of the year, then you're already up to 4,500. So that's twice as many as they have. Okay. So for guys who think that this work is like crazy hard or something, no, it isn't. It is not. And you can get those backlinks anywhere that there are pages. And if you get them on related pages, you have a better quality score. Okay, so what do we get? We get information about this stuff, right? 6 Google Plus ones, 5 Twitter, 9 Facebook likes, 15 Facebook shares. Interesting stuff. It just helps us understand things. Okay. Now let's scroll down and take a good look to better understand stuff. Here's all those pages over time. It tells us the date and how many pages there are pointing in. Okay, that's how many links are pointing in, but on how many websites. So like you got to look at the other end of the graph. The yellow, this is the number of different domains that have links on them that point to this website. Okay, so and these go together. This is the time down here, September, October, November. So in the beginning, we had like 165 domains total. That includes just about everything. Facebook, Twitter, Google, Bing, Yahoo, websites that scrape their information and posted it out and said they're a safe site to visit. Um, Whatever. There's 165 total, and most of you guys have some of these. Usually, if you put a few ads out, that forces a bunch of other sites to collect information on you in the process. So by just putting a few ads out, they may have put a backlink on like 5 or 8 different websites to already get like 20. By the time they put like another 5 or 8 out, they got another 30 on top of that. Okay, on 165 domains. Total of 2,000 referring pages. Now, time passes, things are going on here. This is interesting. So they kind of just go up a few domains here and there, and that means they get a few more backlinks, just a handful. So they find a way to put some backlinks in different websites. How do you think that works? Well, what they do is they find more websites to put links on, and then every day they come back and put another link on the same website, for example. So, every day they're putting out like 5 new links and they are just doing it religiously, right? It's part of their modus operandi to be competitive. Okay. Now, think about the strategy. Now, what do we have? This is funny. We have pages going down even though the domains are going up. How is that possible? Well, it's possible because you lose pages along the way. And that's what this is. This is showing us the same graph, by the way. The blues are links gained by putting out new backlinks, while the reds are all the backlinks getting lost over time because they keep showing up archived. See, Google only goes so far back before it sort of doesn't count it anymore. It won't show up anywhere useful because they're just too old. I mean, who needs to see, wow, best carpet cleaning deal of the year? And you look and it's the year 2003. Doesn't make any sense, right? So there are a lot of things that will just go away. Hot new technology you're about to learn. Yeah, from 2007. What hot new technology? Okay. And so lost backlinks are all the links that are leaving. They fall off websites. And then here are all the links being added at the same time to make up for the loss, so to speak. But that's interesting. If you look, you see different ideas. When we add backlinks here, we are adding them to new domains. When we add, all right, and then that was working. It must have really worked hard because somewhere they started to get serious about it. So even though the overall number of links is dropping, that's just because they're losing like as much as they're putting out or whatever. But anyway, this just means fewer backlinks are showing up, but they're introducing new domains. So they're getting new links out. All right. So even though the line's the same, a lot of the content has been dropping off and being replaced with new content. Okay. All right. And they're still climbing in the number of total domains they use up and down. Some domains drop off too, right? Because the guys go out of business or close the domains. Okay. And that causes a loss of backlinks. When domains die, usually it doesn't take long for the backlinks to die off too. Okay. Now, and you got to think about that as being a slight lag, right? It's like when the domains die in real time, doesn't mean the backlinks are dead in real time. The Google bots have to go back and confirm and see what happened, things like that. Well, anyway, take a look. Somewhere in here, their strategy must have quit working. that Google may have changed the algorithms then. This is April. It may have, but somewhere a lot of domains got dropped. Usually, when you see a bunch of domains get dropped at the same time, that means they were spammy domains, and though therefore a bunch of these were probably spammy links. Okay, Google dropped almost everything they added from this point to this point. Do you see it? Can you see the line straight across? This is when they did this hot new idea they had and they pushed it to the hilt. And then Google went thump right back and said that new idea no longer works. Okay, with that in mind, their backlinks were just dropping and dropping harder and harder anyway. Okay. Well, here they must have just like run out of steam for a while because they kept dropping down. Let me get this thing out of the way for a minute. You can see how they kept dropping down. Okay. And then they had a couple of like almost false attempts trying to do something right, in a way, kind of push it up. And then they dropped, maybe they reevaluated. And as they're adding more here, the domains are dropping. So they are spending more time on fewer domains. You get that? Okay. And they actually did reach a point where it balanced, and even then they figured out which ones seem to count the most for them, and that's where they're focusing right now. So the domains that they're focusing hardest on, they're putting new links. Whoops, trying to get off that. New links on those domains, right? And that's like their strategy right now. They might add in some more, but they're really not sure where they're going now. And you can see that from this. You can see what's going on. Now, let's look at the stuff that's important to see. Referring domains, a bunch of them, spreading the backlinks out. So total backlinks here, that's how many domains, but that's like on 135 subnets and 151 IPs. That means most of these domains are different places for real. They're not the same website with add-ons. Okay, they might have been at one time, they might have been back here, but they aren't anymore, at least. Okay, that's a way to understand that. So mostly they're intentionally putting links in different places. Okay, and that's huge. It counts. Okay, and a bunch are .com, some are not, whatever. Backlink types. Here's where it's interesting. Text. That is where there's a link to them that is printed, that is in print, that is not a hyperlink. Okay, hyperlink means it's a hyperlink. All right. For more, visit written by Sumer.com, I think it is. Okay. Yeah, written by Sumer.com. And this is just in print. It's not clickable. Okay. Or it says, right, great stuff at, what do I know? Written by Sumer.com. And that's like all it says. Maybe some of them say this. Google wants to see that. They want to see the variability. They want to see a bunch of text links. They want to see a bunch of clickable links. In the case of do follow, those are clickable. No follows are clickable because they're links. Okay. Even redirects are links. Now, most of the time, people don't use redirects. Okay. All right. Because redirects, Google kind of likes, but mostly everyone's going directly for the punch. Well, if you get them in text, you think, well, how do I not get any back? I can't get any link juice from a text link. There's no link. There's no anchor text. There's no keyword. I don't get any link juice. The answer is Google is counting you higher because you're not getting link juice on this link. Google wants to see that because Google expects that the whole net, if they're working the way they are, a bunch of people are old folk who don't even understand how to create a backlink. No offense. I'm going to be an old folk myself, and my kid's going to say the same thing about me, about something. But they're starting to already. um, Google wants to see that some of your links are not clickable. They want to see that. They want to absolutely see that. And so this does not hurt you. It helps you to have text backlinks, links that are just in print. Now, do follow should outweigh no follows. No follows are on spammy sites. Usually they're trying to grab all the juice for themselves, say, and not give you any juice. And so if you get put up in a bunch of sites that have no follow links, usually what happens is Google just sees that as garbage, like link farms. So your do follows should be a lot higher than your no follows. Okay, but there should be both. Google wants to see a bunch of no follows. They do. They really do. If you had 0 no follows, your rank would not be as high. If you had 0 or 10 text links and that was it, your rank would not be as high. 10 might even work, but 0 will not. Okay. Site-wide versus not site-wide. Any idea what that means? How many of you guys have created like a 1,000-page MOWG run on a domain and then you never went back to that domain and put anything else up? What's that mean? That means that every page of that domain has a backlink because that's what you did, right? You created a website with backlinks where every page has a backlink. That's called site-wide. That's right here. Okay. And then not site-wide is, of course, the much more human natural approach. The assumption is when you create different topics, they're pointing at different people for different reasons. And so you wouldn't have a link on every page of your site going somewhere. You have a link on some pages of your site going somewhere. Google wants to see that most of your links out there are not site-wide. They're not on all the pages. They're just on some of them, like a subdomain run you do on your website. Okay. And then site-wide means you have a certain backlink that is on every page of your site, like in the footer. Google expects to see some of that. But mostly they don't think that all these websites out there really want to put you in their footer or their menu under links tab. And so chances are good that most of the links you have pointing in at you from other websites are not site-wide, right? So if you have MOWG, do different runs on all your websites pointing at different things. It's important, okay? Then there's redirects, some image links. Google wants to see image links. Some of the links should not be words. They should be clickable images, okay? Some kind of a banner or a picture or something, all right? Doesn't have to be a lot, but that's good. Now, what's cool is you can even see from here, the darker blue shows the follow links, and the lighter blue shows the no follow links that are added. See how they're adding some that are do follow and some that are no follow? Okay, and they did that 23 in that week. This is by week, and they did whatever, 23 one week, 73 another. So they got writers, like a blog writer, writing for them, maybe more. And then what they're losing are a bunch of do follows and some no follows, right? Who knows why they're losing so many here and there, but usually that means like Google algorithmic changes, right? Because if you lose a lot all of a sudden, chances are good that that's algorithmic changes causing that to happen. Like they lost a bunch of backlinks right here. See it? Right there. That's what this is showing. For all that they added, they also added some in, or the line would have gone even further down. Okay. Now here, this obviously means Google probably changed something very big because that's a lot of links dropped all of a sudden while they were only adding a few. Okay. Again, a lot more links dropped, more Google algorithmic changes. All right. The world doesn't stop moving forward as far as that goes, but this kind of a thing is pretty universal as long as it's done right. Okay. Google wants this kind of a layout for all the obvious reasons. That won't change for a long time. You know, people aren't going to learn href coding anytime soon. Look at the map. They can tell you like where your links are coming from, you know, your backlinks, and so whether it makes sense or not. This person's European, I believe, and so, you know, being on servers in these areas makes perfectly good sense. Okay. Top referring TLDs, anchor clouds help you really understand like what their main keyword focus is and then surrounding keywords. And Google can pick and mix and match from all this stuff, but it tends to mix and match the small stuff to the bigger stuff. The small stuff to the bigger stuff as it's figuring out the keyword combinations you should be showing up for. So it grabs something from here and something from there, and it shows you if that's what people are searching for. Okay, that's neat to know. All right, number of backlinks, hreflang. I forget what this is all about. We could go look some other time. Okay, top preferring TLDs are just kind of nice to see. They're top level domains. You know, that's important to note. Now, anchor phrases, we can kind of see where we're showing up for different generic text and useful text, and some are domains. See that? Domains. Not keywords, but literally uses of the domain in the link. That's where the link is clickable and doesn't say a keyword, it says the link. Google wants to see some of that. Okay. So there are a bunch of things that they're doing that's sensible and a bunch of things that they're doing that's, you know, they're learning. But here is the way all this works. And you can tell the number of referring domains, which is like 27% of the total, use this kind of a phrase. 13% of the total use that kind of a phrase. It's obviously not an exact science. It's just they focus harder on certain phrases like market your brand is the hardest focused on. Summer secrets is the next hardest focused on, right? Then the next hardest focused on. That's what this relates to for this. And Google can mix and match from all of this against all of that to figure it out. Make sense? Anchor terms. So anyway, I'll leave you to study this up and study your own website, study websites you're interested in, figure out how you're going to go with that. And we'll keep doing more training, but I think this will really help you understand. Like when we do MOWG, especially with the 3 MOWG HB now, we show people how to set up a MOWG project that creates this whole pattern of variability very easily. We can do this in one step. We can hit one button to create a bunch of pages on a website that are only text. And by hitting the same button, we created a bunch of links that are do follow, bunch that are no follow. We can decide if we want it to be site-wide or not site-wide in one step. Okay, and then an image. Not only that, but one step we can run this out on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different websites with the same or different orientations. And literally one press of one button once you set the project up will create all of this variability across as many websites as you want in that single press of one button, which is why you'd be interested in the 3 MOWG HB project, right? For anyone that doesn't know, that is this, okay? All right, and that's and what's similar to that for those of you using T to H, okay, is this kind of a thing here. T to HHB is like the first time that you can see how to use MOWG runs, like the UAP concept, but not on the UAP pages, on the theme to HTML with all of your stuff at the top, your banner slider, your images, your left sidebar going down the side, all the main stuff you want to get people to when they come through keywords and land on you. Okay, and your top level menu with all your top level pages. Okay, all right, this stuff is getting serious. For those of you that want access to this, it's in the MOWG forums. If you want this, it's in the MOWG forums. You have to own a MOWG license to get into the forums. So when you own a MOWG primary license, you can get into the forums and get that stuff. And when you do, it will just make your jobs so easy, especially if you have theme to HTML. Okay, which is now it's becoming standard. Like if you go to get this thing, right? If you're on the rental program, ask me if you want a discounted link to pay off the balance and get into the forums, get everything else you need. Otherwise, the primary license is here. This is the MOWG primary license. It does come with the theme to HTML admin panel, access to the forums, the 3 MOWG HB, the 3 T to H HB, all the other stuff we're doing, free upgrades for a year, and a bunch of extra stuff that makes your life danged easy. Take any domain, point it at our hosting. We'll give you a dedicated IP address. We'll give you a professional var sheet with 3 link juice injections. Whole thing wrapped in. So you can have all of this working for you. You can have everything set up on the first run you do for yourself. If you want us to do a professional run for you, the big time runs that we do for you with everything, okay, that's this right now. And you want to get this, okay, and get it now. It's gotten huge and powerful. And like I said, we're going to be able to show you rank within the first 24 hours. We're going to show you indexing followed by rank in like the next 24 hours on tons of keywords. And you'll understand what's happening. And you'll have the power to expand that at the press of a button. You're really going to get into it. Okay. Everyone who's gotten that has been very, very happy with it. Okay. That's true. As a matter of fact, one of the best bits of feedback, I mean, it's fun when you see it, right? Here's our oldest thread on Warrior Forum. We started it, if I go to page 1, just so you can know, I mean, it's 20th of May 2014, but the first page is 12th of May 2009. This is more than 5 years. This is 5.5 year thread. We don't have to hide. That's why we keep the same thread running all the time, to show our age and our development and all the new stuff we do and come out with and point out and things you can learn. It's crazy how far we get into this. It's pretty easy to obsess because there's just so much you can do with MOWG and with theme to HTML now, especially. There's a call center in Las Vegas that we started. It's growing. There's different things happening that's really interesting. And I mean, our last 2 bits of feedback here, except for some little spam backlink thing in here, whatever they are, is exactly about the last 2 runs we're doing. And this guy, he's getting several websites back to back, T to H MOWG websites. And this guy, he couldn't believe he spent the $37.50 on the very large package at MOWG Pro, okay, and just completely happy. For those who don't know, that's here. It's not MOWG-Crew, it's MOWGpro.com, one word. And then you can click here to have us handle your professional MOWG runs for you. And those run at different prices from $9.97 to $37.50. The $37.50 run, of course, is going to be the strongest run that we have to offer. So for those of you who have cash and you wonder where you're supposed to put it, this is the best way to go. Okay? All right. I hope you find this interesting, and I'm going to continue with more topics, but right now I got to meet with some guys. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.